there should be a display of who you are based upon where you come from. I'm not talking about the origin or the progenitor called your father and your mother, but I'm talking about the source, the very foundation of where you were. The Bible calls it Tselem, T-S-E-L-E-M, Tselem. You were made in the image of God. So before God katabole, before he threw the earth into existence, if you will, he had a plan. That plan lives on today because that plan was created in an eternal realm. And when God talks in the eternal realm, he always speaks it from an everlasting perspective. So just because we are born in what's called time, we must not let the authenticity of God that was spoken about us in eternity become eradicated because something is happening in time that differs from what he said in his eternal realm. I do not believe that the earth was created the way we see it in Genesis 1 and 2. But in Genesis 1 and 2, we see that there is a void. But anything that's void does not have purpose. So God now has to have what he has made not only be in purpose, but show forth that it is ready and able to create that purpose in an environment that seemingly it won't work in. So therefore, God corrected it in verse 3 by saying, "Let there be light," which means that God always brings things back to its authenticity. I want you to hear this. No matter how messed up it gets in time, there is a plan for God to bring it back to its original form. So don't get discombobulated because you don't see the plan of God being shown forth readily or right away in your life, because what you're seeing is not an authenticity. What you're seeing is something that's going to try and make you feel that you cannot operate or you cannot be successful just because things are not looking the way you think they should look. So God is in the restoration business. He always brings things back to its original form. What am I saying here? I'm saying here is that the purpose for which you were born will come back to its authenticity. I don't care what you were doing before, but God says that I am going to bring you back to your original bedrock position in me, because the world wants to pull you away from what you were created to be. Everything in the world, and I say the world, I'm not talking about the cosmos. I'm talking about the Aion. The age that you live in is A-I-O-N, Aion. It is the age. It is the fad that you're living in is pulling against the very purpose for which you were born. And so we must now have our minds transformed and renewed about who we are, because the world teaches you who you are not. Okay? And the world and people want you to perform outside of your normal purpose. Come. When Jesus went into the wilderness, the first thing he wanted Jesus to do was to prove himself. Come on. Based upon what he thought he needed. So when people think they have what you need, they'll make you foam at the mouth by doing things that you are not really ready for, and it's out of time, it's out of purpose, and if you need it bad enough, you will fall privy and prey to that plan. I'm talking to somebody right now. Don't move before time. Just cause you can don't mean you should. Jesus' purpose was not to prove anything to the devil. Stop trying to prove things to people who have nothing to do with your destiny. Yeah. That there are people in your life that want you to step to them when they have nothing to give you. Why should I step to you? You don't have anything that you can bless me with. You don't have anything that you can give me. So why should I perform in front of you? Because when I get through performing, you ain't got nothing to give me that's worthy of my performance. So we got to get back to divine purpose. I didn't say purpose that you think that you were designed for. I said divine purpose. Your divine purpose was given to you before you even stepped into your mama's womb. I said divine purpose. The word divine, I told you, come from the word prothesis, and it comes to the word prothesis, before. Tedomai means to set or to place and ordain. So when you are in divine purpose, you were set before and ordained before you even hit the earth. So in the earth, when you were announced in the earth had to shift over at least one person to make room for you. I don't care where you were born. Where you were born is not your identity. Yeah. You might have been born in a one-bedroom apartment. You might have been born in a project. I don't care where you were born. Jesus was born in a manger, but ruled the world. So where you were born has nothing to do with where you're going. Your purpose will bring you out of a project. Your purpose will bring you out of a trailer. Your purpose will bring you out of being broke. Your purpose will bring you up out of having low self-esteem. Your purpose will get you out and around people who are leeches and people who are trying to leech on your good fortune. Your purpose will bring you up out of a dark place into a light place that you can see where you're going. Say, neighbor, I don't need a job. I need purpose. There are many people who have jobs but are outside of purpose. And they still broke. But if I get in my purpose, Rosalind, my purpose will make room for me. I'm talking to somebody in here that needs to know you were put here on purpose. I don't care if your mama and daddy had you out of wedlock. It ain't how you got here, it's that you're here. And while I'm here, I'm going to make it count. Yeah. The devil should have shot the womb before I came out. I'm here now. I'm going to make him pay. I'm going to make him pay for what he did to my granddaddy. I'm going to make him pay for what he did to Uncle Joe. I'm going to make him pay for what he did. Say, neighbor, while you're here, it ain't important how you got here. Just know you're here. Make the devil pay. Yeah. Watch this now. So this prothesis was decided, in eternity. So therefore, time, Miss Barb, has to agree with what was said first. The Lord first mentioned. So the Lord first mentioned says that you were chosen before you even got here. You ain't had nothing to do with it. But God says in this season, I got to show you who you are, not based upon who people have dictated you to be, but who I made you be when I nashamad out of my belly into your nostrils. Lord have mercy. And the flesh, and you became a living mind. I said, I did say a living mind, because you are the living mind of God. If God has his spirit in you, you are the living mind of God. Stop trying to minimize your thinking just by in a textbook. You are not just made to read textbooks. You were made to read the Bible and expand your mind. If I can get you to read who God says you are, it will expand you beyond where you've ever been. You can't learn who you are by math and science and biology, but you can learn who you are by getting into theology. And then moving from theology into Christology, and from Christology into pneumatology, so you understand God, Christ, and Holy Spirit. All right, now, so here we are now. Our minds have got to be retrained, because we have now been told who we're not. But God now comes and said, as a man thinketh. So I got to change your thinking. I got to change the way you see yourself. You've been told many times that you couldn't do it. You were told many times you would never be it. You've been told many times you will never amount to nothing. You've been told many times you'll be just like your mama. And my mama and my daddy is not my blueprint. My DNA ain't got red blood. My DNA has spirit. Say, neighbor, where I come from is not out of my mama's belly. I was just placed in my mama from God. So when he spoke me into existence, I became a living being before I was put in my mama's womb. I got to tell you who you are. And now, since you're here, you are here on divine purpose. I'm a preacher that just don't preach 3 points in a poem. I'm not here to give you a homily. I understand to be hermeneutically correct. I can apologetically defend what I'm doing. But I'm not here for all of that. I'm here because God has sent a people here to need a word from the Lord to change their life, change your future, and change your destiny. Yeah. So here we are. We find ourselves in the quagmire of the world, trying to dig our way out of what people say we couldn't do. But I'm here to tell you today, I'm giving you a shovel. You're going to dig your way out today, because you're going to find out that you are here not because what your mom and your daddy got together. You are here because God decided for you to get here before your mom and daddy even knew each other. All right, y'all gonna like me in a minute. Say, neighbor, know your purpose. Yeah. Okay, let's go a little bit further. Divine purpose. I didn't say a purpose that was shown to you from a perspective of who you want to be in college. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about divine purpose from the perspective of where God has already set you to be. Let's go to my first screen here, Isaiah 43:7, and let's kind of get some meat on these bones. Here we go. Are y'all ready to go? Talk back to me. Are you ready to go? I need some people in here that are with me, that just don't sit there. I want to know you're alive. I want to know that you want what God has for you. Are you hungry this morning? God, I want to taste and see that the Lord is good. Isaiah 43:7. I feel him right long through here. He said, everyone who is called by my name. He called you by name. He called you by description. He just didn't call you Ralph. He didn't call you Joe. He didn't call you Charlie. He didn't call you Lily. He didn't call you Blossom. He didn't call you Milton. He called you by his name. And the last time I checked, that when when he speaks about me, he calls me a 3-letter word, son. Yeah. See, the prodigal son was a son even though he messed up. See, some of y'all are sons not knowing who you are. So you acting like you are, what can I say? I ain't going to say that word because y'all say I'm cussing. But you act like you ain't got no mama and no daddy. Yeah. But God said, I speak you out of my bowels. Even though the world might have disowned you, I'll never disinherit you. It's a difference between disown and disinherit. See, people can disown you, but if you got an inheritance coming, they can't write you out of the will. I'm going to say it again. Some people have turned their back on you, but they can't write out the will because the will is written in blood. The will is written in red, and can't nobody change what God has written. My scripture can't be broken. I'm not a man that I should lie. If I wrote it, if I said it, I shall bring it to pass. He said, everyone you would call by my name. Watch this. Whom I have created for my what? You wasn't here just to walk this earth and just find out what you can make a living for. God didn't put you here to make a living. He put you here to have a life. He didn't say that. He didn't say I came that you might have living. He came that you might have. See, y'all are trying to make a living when you're forgetting about living is inside of your life. But if I can get your life together, your living will be all right.